on this line. Okay, I'll just cut on the line of off, the line we offed. Okay, because this is what we want for the front body. So I take off what I have here, so I'll be able to close up my bust dart, okay, to the bust point. So I will apply my adhesive and close up my bust dart. Okay, so I'll just cut more, a little, just a little, so I'll be able to move this to close up my bust dart. Okay, so now my bust dart is closed. All right, so you see there's a little shift. Of course there will always be a little shift right here. So once you have that shift, just blend it up, and that is that. Just blend it up, as you can see. All right, so we've closed up our bust dart. So the next thing we want to do now is to cut off what we have. But before we do that, I would want to cut through this line because I want to create a cup style. Okay, I need my cup to be more than 2. So if I need my cup to be more than 2, this is what I'm going to do. You can see me folding on the dart line. I'm trying to close it up. So to close it up, I'll also apply my adhesive on this dart. Okay, so I close up, I kiss it together. That is exactly what I'm doing. Can you see that? So I kiss it together. Okay, so now I've kissed it together. I would come from here and blend up my line, or you can use your pattern ruler to do that if you wish, or I can freehand it, so I'll be able to get exactly what I want. Okay, all right, so what I did is just to blend up the excess I have at that point. So this is the excess I have, and I've blended it up. So I want to create my cup right now. Okay, so in creation of your cup, and now you can see we have blended this back. So I love to connect from this line, okay, like this. I love to connect to the chest line and bring it back to this. Okay, so it depends on what you actually want, but this always gives me a good cup. Okay, cup design. So you can also decide to take this up. Let me say you want to bring this part this way, assuming you don't want it to go too deep. We can also do this. Okay, so we'll go with what we have on this, like this to this point. All right, so now I would call my cup. This is cup 1, this is cup 2, and this is cup 3. I love to make these lines because these lines I have here, I will be using it to sew this and this together. Okay, and I like to also make an arrow this way showing my bust point line. So once I cut now, I will know this part is for the up and this is for the bust point. All right, so we are done with this. So this is our boning line is going to be, I don't want to create a boning line for this, that is on the pattern, but we'll be having the boning line sewn directly on fabric. So that is why this is a sew along project. So you see how we are going to achieve all of this. So I'm cutting through my cup, as you can see. All right, so this is what I have as my first panel, and I'll be cutting through my cup. Okay, Can you see that? So this is what we will be having. So I'm merging this and this together because we are going to have a basque corset for it. So I'll put 1 and 2 together. I'll call it F1 and F2. I'm putting them together because we'll be creating a boning line right on the fabric. So this is going to be cut on fold. Okay, so I come in with a piece of paper and I apply my adhesive to merge this together. So I'm merging this together and merging this together, as you can see. So I have it as one corset piece. Okay, all right, so at the end of the day you still see that our waist is still 7. From here to here is still 7 inches. Can you see that? I still have 7 inches on the waistline. Okay, so that is that, and that is how we are going to cut these parts. Now I'll come over to my cup and separate my cup pieces. So I'm separating my cup following this already line we created. So now I've separated, you can see the strokes, and this I'm going to separate it on this line as well. Okay, so these are my cup pieces which will be sewing together. You can see I have my notches. Of course, you see how we are going to do that, and we are done with the front pattern. So this is what you are expected to have for this particular corset for the front pattern. So we'll move over to the back pattern right now. So I'll set this one aside. All right, so the corset we are constructing will have a zip. So this is the back pattern and we'll be having a zip right here. Okay, so some corsets have loops, some corsets have eyelets. So but this particular tutorial we are going to have a zip for our corset. So the first thing I'll be doing on this pattern for the back is to go off exactly the same way I did. Okay, I offed at 5 inches from the shoulder line, and that is where I'm going to start up my corset. Then the next thing we want to do is to determine the width of the neckline. Okay, so for this off shoulder you need to take your tape around your shoulder to get your round shoulder measurements. Okay, when we'll be drafting the off shoulder sleeve, you are going to see how we are going to achieve that. So now what I have right here, I'm going to take the measurement from this line we contoured. Remember this part, we are going to cut it off. So my shoulder divided by 2 is 7 3/4. So I'm taking 1.5 out of 7 3/4. So I'll first of all measure everything I have here is 7 3/4. So let me take away 7 3/4. The front, if you are offing by 5 in front, you have to off by 5 at the back. So now for the off shoulder neckline measurement, I'm going to take my measurement from here. So my shoulder is 15.5. Okay, I'm working with shoulder 15.5 minus 1.5 for off shoulders. Okay, I will be 15.5 divided by 2 first. So if you divide 15.5 by 2, that is half of my shoulder, which is 7.75. Then minus 1.5 for off shoulders, I have 6.25. So I'm working with 6.25. So at this point, I'm going to measure 6.25 from this point, and I will make a mark. So that is where I'm going to take my measure. Remember, in the front, the dart was 1.5. And normally off shoulders, you take away 1.5 or 2 inches from your shoulder. So since we've already taken it away in the dart, that is why we did not replace any dart. So but here we don't have any dart, so we need to take off the 1.5, which we just did right here. We have 6.25, as you can see, starting all the way from this contour line. So I'm going to reconnect my shoulder, off shoulder. You can see how I place my ruler to reconnect my off shoulder, my armhole. So the armhole for off shoulders are slanted, is not too curvy, instead is being slanted. So that is that, and we are done. So for the back pattern, I'm going to take away this dart now, and I'm going to distribute this dart. Or this is what I will do. The dart intake I have here is 1 inch. So I want to create 2 darts right here, which is 0.5 on each side and 0.5 on the other. So the waistline I have here, in fact, I'm going to measure from here to here, including the dart, which is 8 inches. 8 divided by 3, I will be marking 2 7/4. That is 2.75, 2.75, 2.75 or thereabout. So I divided this by 3. So I'll be using my other marker so you'll be able to see this clearly. So what I'm creating here is my boning line. Okay, I'm creating a boning line. So this is how my boning line is going to run. So but like I said, I don't want to I want to sew all my boning lines right on my fabric. So since I'm sewing all my boning lines right on the fabric, I would not have that issue of recreating or creating another dart. So I'm going to take my waist measurement from the point I offed. I will take exactly my waist measurement and take off the dart completely. In fact, I'm taking off the dart completely. Once we get to the working table, you are going to see how we are going to create boning channels. So the back neckline, I want to create the back neckline now. So I will come down from here by 1.5 from the part I offed by 1.5 to recreate my boning line. So this is it. I'll place my pattern ruler and recreate my neckline. So you can see how the neckline is. So now I'm going to cut my pattern because we are done with the back pattern. Okay, so now this is the actual waistline because the dart is off. Okay, so remember we added this, so I need to, before I cut, this should be connected back to this. Okay, like this. Please don't cut it off. So I'm cutting through the red line right away. So I'll cut through the red line. That is the right line. Because of this, we added back to replace that part. So I cut right here, and I'm cutting through the neckline. So this is the back bodice. So I'm cutting here right away. Okay, so if you watch right here on what we have on the back pattern, you can see that our bust divide by 4 is still intact because the bust is 35, divided by 4 is 8.75, and the waist is 28, divided by 4 is 7. So we have everything. So on the working table, we'll be adding our seam allowances, we'll be creating our boning channels right on this flat pattern. Okay, so this is how we'll come to the end of today's sew along. So we are still drafting. Very soon we'll get to the sewing of this corset. So this is what we have on the corset. As you can see, that this is the first cup, and this is it. Okay, all right people, so we'll be in the next tutorial, we'll be drafting the lower part of this. Okay, to construct the backs for this particular corset, you'll be seeing how the back effect on the corset will be constructed. Okay, so thank you very much for watching once again. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each day. Like this video, share to family and friends, and drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next project corset video. Bye.